China in 180 seconds. Brought to you by FactFish. When most people think of China, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that it has the largest population of any single country in the world, at 1.341 billion people as of 2010, or roughly 19.5% of the world's total. But in line with it having the largest population, it has the world's second largest land area, so there is plenty of room for its people to move around without bumping into each other too much. Although about a quarter of that area is desert, which isn't so great unless you're a camel, which Western China has. But fear not, however, because there are 110,000 kilometers of waterways, the most in the world, and 14,500 kilometers of coastline, if you need a place to wash away all that sand. Of its massive population, a whopping 36.7% of them work to feed their fellow countrymen. This may sound like a lot, but it's a major decline from the 60.1% who worked in agriculture in 1990. China's major food crop is rice. In 2011, they produced 202,667,270 tons of it, along with 1,640,310 tons of tea. So the next time someone says they wouldn't do something for all the tea in China, you can be sure they don't know exactly how much tea that really is. China also ranks number 2 among the world's economies, with a GDP of $8.26 trillion in 2012, growth of nearly sevenfold since 2000. But when you break it down among all those people, it comes to around $5,500 in per capita income. Of course, with such rapid economic growth comes a growing appetite for crude oil. So it should be no surprise that China consumes 9.4 million barrels per day, the second highest consumption in the world, although still less than half that of the U.S., which burns 19.15 million barrels per day, with only 1/6 of the population of China. And with that oil consumption comes major CO2 emissions. China ranks number 1 at 7.687 million kilotons of emissions per year, beating the U.S. by about 2.4 million kilotons. Still not sure if China is a place you would like to live? Consider this. The life expectancy is 72.7 years. That's 90th in the world, far ahead of its northern neighbor Mongolia, which has a life expectancy of 67.3 years, but way behind its neighbor to the east, Japan, which is number 1 at 82.7 years. Violent crime is also a minor concern there, with homicides of only 1 per 100,000 people as of 2010, ranking at 170th out of 190 in terms of murder rate. That's far lower than the murder capital of the world, Honduras, with 91 homicides per 100,000 people, but not quite as good as Monaco, which has virtually no murders, and why would they? So there you have it, China in 180 seconds. But I barely scratched the surface. If you want to know more, go to factfish.com for facts and trends fished from thousands of official and reliable sources from around the world, all in one place. Factfish.com. Research made simple.